Every day, we build the world around us.
But who's checking in on us?
Welcome to Built For Us.
It's a brand new podcast.
Built by construction workers, for construction workers.
It's our own honest space.
There's no scripts, there's no suits. It's just
Real talk about mental health, stress,
And showing up for each other.
Okay, everybody, here we go again. It's another fantastic episode ahead on Built For Us, the all brand new podcast for construction workers by construction workers. And I've got two great people accompanying me this evening. I'll let you introduce yourselves, guys. How are we doing?
Harrison, I'll let you go.
Not a problem. Yeah, so obviously my name is Harrison. People probably better know me on socials as the Benching Bricky. In real life, I am a bricklayer. I own a bricklaying company, and that is the nitty gritty of my day to day. And obviously, I've just built the socials sort of around that on top of it. And, you know, we talk a lot about trade humor, but we talk about, you know, really important subjects as well in our industry, such as mental health and similar. So, yeah, I started doing that a couple of years ago, and it's all doing pretty well now. And I'm just kind of, you know, keeping building that on the side and doing lots of things with it. And yeah, absolutely love doing the social media stuff. Obviously, behind the scenes, the wheel work, which is the bricklaying.
Amazing. As a lot of people know on this podcast, James, JT Motive. I do mental health and done it for 5 years with faced with addiction. People know my story on here. People know my story. I think we're on episode 7 or 8 now, something like that. So it's all good. But Clive, always a pleasure to see you. And Harrison, amazing and privileged to be on the podcast with you. It really, really is.
No, honour's mine.
No, I'd echo that because, listen, you know, I'm the old dinosaur in this group, really, you know, as you know, Stephen Kirby reminds me all the time, you know, he's, you know, how much younger he is than me. But you know, listen, I'll wear that with pride, to be honest. But Harrison, you know, I think the idea that you're a real, genuine construction worker, you go out there and you do the graft for people with real people. The fact that you've built this extra crucial layer to your day by making people laugh, encouraging people to share, and entering this mental health space in a slightly different way by creating engaging, humorous content. I just take my hat off to you, mate. I absolutely do.
Thanks. Yeah. It's been a bit of a crazy journey, to be honest. And honestly, when I started it, I had no idea it would end up, you know, where it is now. But, you know, I mean, as anyone who works with social media will know, it has taken a lot of work. A lot of time and effort goes into everything behind the scenes to sort of produce that polished 30-second video that everyone will see. You know, there's a lot goes into it. And when we started, I do genuinely love it. I love the power of socials and what it can do. And yes, we want to make people laugh. Yes, we want to bring a smile to people's day. But genuinely, the best thing that I've done with it is the impact of talking about mental health and the sort of things we're doing outside of it now. We're doing charity football games. And I just know for a fact, you know, I try to interact with my audience as much as possible. I know that the videos have really helped a lot of people who have been in bad positions. So for me, like, there's no greater reward than that. That's the best thing I can do with the power of the channel I've got.
Well, fantastic. And, you know, I know the listeners are really, really keen to find out, what was it that got you started? You've genuinely invested time and resources using social media that gets a bashing all the time, you know, for a good reason sometimes. But you've used it and you've completely turned it on its head, and you're doing something incredibly positive. But what got you going? What started you? What was the impetus for it?
The story really, you know, it wasn't necessarily something I planned. The actual story was basically a couple of years back. As anyone who works in bricklaying or any trade that's affected by weather will know, I was sat at home again in a very cold and wet December. What I find with myself is that if I'm not, but I love routine, right? And if I'm out of structure and if I'm sitting at home twiddling my thumbs going, I'm not earning money, my mind's not stimulated, my body's not stimulated. So I do struggle with that situation, right? So I was sitting there thinking, right, this is like, you know, a reoccurring theme in our trade is that we spend a lot of time sat on our asses at home because of things out of our control, right? So I was sat there, I was like, what can I do that's going to give me something that I can just put that energy and that sort of, towards, to keep me busy, keep my mind focused on something when the weather might let me down or whatever. And I sat there, I went, I wrote a list of different ideas out and thought, like, what can I do? And then, so at the time I had no Instagram, no TikTok. I didn't even know how to use TikTok. I had no idea about it at all. And then it's actually the young lad who films my stuff now. He suggested to me about, doing the socials and starting a social media channel. And it was basically on the sort of pretense that at the time I was a bricklayer who lived quite call it a strict lifestyle, but I was heavily into the gym. I mean, I still go to the gym now, but not quite as much as I did then. And that would be my niche and that would be my USP as such. And that's how it started. That's why they named the bench and bricky. So bench press, that's how it started. And I just sort of delved into this world and I was like, I have no clue what I'm doing. I don't know how to create a video. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I don't know what it was. I can't really explain to you, but I sat down with my pen and paper and I wrote a goal down that I'm going to have 10,000 followers in 2 months. I just put that down on paper and I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do it. Something in me was like, yeah, I really like this. I enjoy it. And I just went kind of hell to leather at it then. And then I started finding my feet with it. And the gym stuff completely flopped. Realized very quickly that was like very saturated sort of market media and everyone's posting about it. So then I realized quite quick I need to be more niche. And then that was it. I was like, what about me is unique? And I think that would be great advice to anybody starting on social media is what is unique about you. Everybody's unique in their own way and people will be interested in it. So I was like, right, I'm a gym going bricklayer. Although I'm very serious in a lot of ways, I do have quite a humorous side to me as well. My mind's quite, I've got quite an inventive mind, I would say, quite an imagination. And then that's how the sort of skit style videos sort of started. I tested one. I did a video. It was the best performing video by a mile. And I was like, right, this is what's going to work for me. And then that's how it just built from there. It was all from just enjoying sort of pulling these ideas out of my head and these random things that would pop in my head. And, I've still got a notepad now that I use. I'm pretty old school and I like a bit of pen and paper and I write everything down and I pick my brains and write all these scripts out and write these sort of storyboards out. And yeah, it just sort of went from there. And that is what brings us to where it is today.
Harrison, let me ask you something what you just said there, because it's incredible what you've just done there, brother. I mean, incredible. But two things really. I'll ask you the first one. Do you know you two guys that you work with, your apprentice and the guy with the black hair? Yeah. Is there any videos? Sorry, I don't know his name. Apologies if you're listening. Is there any videos that you suggest go, boys, I've got a great idea, and they go, no, we're not doing it. And they go, no, come on, it'll be great. And you go, no. And both of them go, not doing it. Or are they quite receptive? And do they love it as much as you do?
Oh, I think loving it as much as me would be a stretch. If you've watched my videos for a long time, there are some, maybe not so much nowadays, but back in the day that would push boundaries a lot. Now, I honestly, I'm very comfortable to push boundaries. I do not care what anybody thinks.
I've seen a few, Harrison.
Yeah, mate.
I honestly do not care. Yeah, whatever people, if it gets a bad response, if it's good, if I go with an idea, back it. But them two, at times, there's been some ideas which I thought that, it's pushing boundaries, but ultimately to get views, you've got to be pushing some sort of boundary.
Definitely. For me, my social media journey started 5 years ago, and I got told to go on TikTok, and I went, what? And this guy who told me to go on is a social media expert, and he said, no, James, honestly, it's not about little girls dancing. You'll be fine. Right, okay, I know that Instagram. And a bit like you, I didn't know what my USP was at all. I was doing a bit of comedy, a bit of voiceovers, bit of dancing. And then all of a sudden, I'd been on TikTok and Instagram for about 4 or 5 months. And off the cuff, this video idea come in my head. And I was finishing work, Sunday, 4:10. And I just thought, I was stood by my car, pulling the bollards up. I thought, I'll do a quick video. 7-second video, Harrison. I just went, if anybody wants any help getting off drink or drugs, inbox me. I can help. Bang, post, done. Next morning, the video had done 300,000 views in 12 hours.
Yeah.
Woke up to 300 messages, and I went, bang, that's my USB, and that's what I'm stuck with for the last 5 years now.
Incredible. I'm right at the, well, am I really at the start of the journey? I don't know, but I've got a realization of perhaps I'm a speaker, so I'm a people person, so I have absolutely no problem at all in speaking to people, engaging with people. But I haven't used social media at all up to this point to gain traction and to get more gigs. Let's be honest about it.
Yeah.
I'm learning how to do that. I have 4 boys, Harrison, and you know, they range from 34 down to 18, and they're all telling me all the time, you need to do this, you need to do that. So the stuff that I have got on there now, it's all because they've helped me. But the power of it, because you said, Harrison, and this is just my take on it, you said that you didn't have a business model to follow, you didn't know what you were doing, and you have no fear about possibly offending people. This it's right for you, and if it's what you want to get across, then that's good enough, and you do it. I personally think, and a lot of this I believe is in life as well, but particularly what we're talking about, I think that's so important, not to be bound by too many, oh yes, but the book says I should do this, and or perhaps I'm not getting the right attention from the right demographic. No, I think you'll lose authenticity, and well, the proof's in the pudding. You're a success. So
earlier this year, I posted a video, and for anyone who watches my stuff, I rip into Sparkies a lot. It's just it's easy content. Everyone relates to it, and I like to get stuff into the Sparkies, right? And so I did a video, and it was a very, like you say, a very short one. So like often it's weird that the short ones, you know, that come out of nowhere. You've filmed. It took me 5 seconds to film this. It's my second highest ever viewed video by, you know, it's I think it's like 25 million views.
My day.
And that same day that I posted it, so I had a fairly large brand deal with, I won't say it was, but I had a large brand deal, and it got pulled. They pulled the rug out that day as I was about to press post on this video, which, you know, for anyone who wants to understand the ins and outs of what we do, I do ad deals, do make decent money off them now.
Yeah, of course.
Good on you.
And you know, as I was about to post this video worth a good amount of money to me, all edited, all the hard work done, and I had an email saying, we've seen this video and we don't want to be aligned with you and your views, basically. And I just looked at my phone and thought, all right, well, do you know what I mean? And I didn't take the video down. I was like, it's staying there because that's my content. That's me. I didn't get into making videos to earn money. It didn't start off that way. And although it's a great bonus, it's not why I do it. What you're saying about that point there is, you know, staying authentic to yourself, who you are. Yeah, whether I had 1,000 followers or the amount that I've got now, like it's still just me.
Go on, you can say it, Harrison. You can say it.
Oh, we're on 400,000 plus now, but yeah.
Mate, you should be so proud. That is, I swear, that is incredible.
It really is. It honestly, it's so impressive, mate. Congratulations.
It is.
It is, and we're not blowing smoke. Can I tell you why it is? Because that's over 400,000 people, brother, that you're helping. You and your other line, but you're helping 400,000 people.
Yeah. It's hard to fathom. It's all on your phone, right? So it's numbers on a screen, and you can't gauge what actually those numbers mean in real life. But you know, we're at the stage now, all three of us, the guys on the camera in the videos, where we will walk out and about, and people will stop us and they'll ask for a photo. And
yes, mega.
And it's just like, then you realize, you're like, oh, what that when you like the physical interaction with someone who knows you don't know them, but they know you. Like, people are like, they don't refer to me by my name, obviously, but they're like, oh, Ben Shabrookie, or the one is, oh, you're the guy from TikTok. It's just crazy. It really is. Like,
I bet you sometimes after, you sit back and think, hang on a minute, you know, how on earth has all this happened? But the reasons it's happened is because, A, what I said before about being true to yourself, and B, I believe what James has just said. It's because you're helping people. People
Massively.
aren't stupid. You know, they know who the fake people are. They know who the haters are. They know who the people that are only just looking for the money. And some of them still succeed. But if you are helping people, and if your authenticity and genuine and humor, if all that comes through, the money will follow, I would presume. You know?
1,000,000%.
You know what I mean? It needs to be that way round. I mean, which platform works better for you then in terms of numbers and potential income?
It varies a lot. So social media in general rides waves. 1 minute it's up, 1 minute it's down. 1 minute my Instagram is booming, the next that will slow down, and then for a long time I had more followers on Instagram than I did on TikTok. But and I'm talking like a 20K gap. Literally in the last 2 or 3 weeks, I think we've got sort of 30,000 followers on TikTok. So now it's gone the other way, and the TikTok's booming at the minute. Facebook page has done really well in the last sort of month as well. Like that's nearly at sort of 6-figure following now as well on its own. So yeah, I mean, in terms of like actually earning money off them, I mean, TikTok's one where you've got to have 10K followers and then you've got to post over a minute to get paid. For me, the amount that you get paid even over a minute doesn't justify, for me, like I said, I don't do this for money, and my best videos are short, they're snappy, they're not, I don't believe they're as effective over that minute. So I don't really put a lot of priority on them, because I would rather have reach more people than make money on TikTok. I'm not concerned about that. Facebook is a great payer because they put ads on short videos. So again, if your video's doing well, they'll put ads on it. You might not even notice it while you're watching it on Facebook, but there'll be a little ad at the bottom of the video as you're watching. A bit like YouTube works with ads. Yeah, so you're getting paid, you know, not massive amounts of money, but it's I look at it, it's almost like a little passive income sort of method.
Yeah, cool. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Do you know what I mean? It's sort of ticking along in the background there, and it's just earning some extra money. And Instagram's the one that bugs me a little bit because they don't pay creators anything. I think it's certain regions in the world they do, but like in the UK, they're not paying anything no matter what you bring to their platform. But Instagram is great for brands, building relationships with brands. Most of them tend to come through Instagram with me. So that's the way you got to look at it. Is, you know, I don't do it for brands. I try not to do too many brand deals and stuff because I don't want to saturate my page with that. I don't want people to look at me and go, "Oh, he's sold out" or anything.
Yeah.
So I will do them, but I try not to. I'm at a point now, really, if I'm being honest, where I price them pretty high because I don't want them. But if I get them, great at that price. And at least then, if I'm doing them at a higher cost, I'm doing less to sort of, rather than doing more for less money. It makes the quality a bit better of them. And, you know, I'm not over throwing them at my audience, you know, and they're in the background. But I've done a few other things in the background with it. I've had a couple of things at businesses I've tried with it. And yeah, to be honest, they didn't work. So, you know, I'm just happy to go, right, that wasn't working. Or put a line into that. I'm really like open to trying things. I'm not afraid for it to not work. So I've tried different things, and yeah, I've got something I'm sort of building in the background now. This is my next idea with the socials, but yeah, sort of some sort of, I'll call it, all I'll say for now is it's going to be a product or products. And I think that this will work with my audience and what we're doing. And it's not going to be like, I don't have to sell it too much. It's just going to be something that will be in the videos naturally. And that will be a way for me to sort of, you know, build some sort of extra business for it, because it's got to the point where why shouldn't you? There's a lot of people making good money off social media. So, you know, tradespeople don't like to be sold to, right? So I don't really like doing that myself. I hate being sold to. So, but yeah, like you say, it's never about getting in it for money. It really wasn't. If it comes as a side piece to it, then great. But it's not. I would genuinely rather have a really successful video that reached more people than a video that got paid out over a minute that didn't do as well.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, putting yourself out on social media can sometimes be difficult. And when I say difficult, I don't mean difficult. It's probably technically difficult, and to get it right, I'm sure, is difficult. Not something that I've learned through the speaking, because my story is quite profound. Although it's inspirational, it's still profound. And when I share my story, I'm really trying to actually connect with people. I don't want them just to hear it. I want them to be involved in it. So that's what I try and do. But I have to admit that over a period of time, if you've had a lot in that week or even just on that day, it can be quite emotionally draining. There's ways of people to give you negative comments and negative press that you'll never see or you'll never hear, and they wouldn't say anything to you if they saw you face to face, I'm sure. But I'm sure that the listeners are going to want to know, do you find at all that it takes its toll on you personally, emotionally, and mentally, keeping this momentum and being the guy that you are?
It really does. Like I said earlier, build and all the effort that goes in behind the scenes of the videos, and it's almost like a full-time job, right? Because and I think it's popped in my head then that for most people, if you think about when you sit on your phone a lot, even if you're just scrolling and you've got no pressure on the fact that you're on your phone, but if you spend a lot of time on your phone, right, I don't think it's particularly that good for you. And it is, your eyes can feel tired, your brain's overstimulated, and so the main negative for me with the socials is that I have to spend a lot of time on my phone, and then you get very engrossed in that little screen in your hand, and then it's one of those, it's part and parcel of it. You got to be doing research on content ideas and finding audios and all these sorts. There's so much to it that goes on that I do behind the scenes to make the videos happen, as any creator would do, and that is draining. It takes a lot of energy. I can't listen to any song in the world anymore without trying to think of a video to it. I can't watch anything, and that is actually quite draining in itself. Is that my mind is always now like content, and that is wearing. And the main thing is, that people forget, is that I do run my own business, like on this day to day, which takes enough energy as it is. I've gone limited this year, and that has been very, very stressful this year in the setup of that, whilst running the socials as well and trying to build the momentum. And like you say, with the socials, it takes a lot of effort to keep it building. So you do naturally feel like the moment you take your foot off the gas with it, fortunately, and it is true to an extent, if you don't keep at it with the pace you go in, you don't fall off by any stretch, but that momentum that you build and the traction and getting out to people, it does drop off. It's just the way the algorithm works. It wants people glued to their platform. So the more you're doing it, the more traction you build. So yeah, you do feel like you can't really take much time off it. I can't remember the last time there was a week where I didn't put a video out.
Wow.
Even on a normal week, I tried to put at least 5 out a week.
Wow.
At least one a weekday, basically. I have to sort of juggle all this stuff, as well as the other side of it is that my family life.
Do you ever sleep, Harrison?
Not enough. I'll be honest, not enough. I get up. I reckon I average like 4 or 5 hours a night.
Oh wow.
I'm quite used to it, but I mean, to most people, they might be like, that's not enough. But yeah, it's I get up at about 5, and I'll come in here to my little office space that I'm sat in now, and I'll either be doing some stuff with the bricklaying, or I'll be sat there scripting and stuff like that. I find it a little bit of a peaceful time before the madness of the day starts, and then obviously the day job, and then filming the content and stuff in that day as well. But the way I see it is that I just kind of utilize my time really efficiently. I don't really waste a second in my day to be able to do it. A lot of people think from the videos that we aren't doing our actual jobs to do the videos, which couldn't be further from the truth. We just, whilst most people would be in work having an hour lunch or a half an hour break or whatever, when they're doing that is when we're doing that and filming. And then we spend quite a lot of time traveling as well to get to work, just the nature of what we do. But I'll also work solidly in that time. I'll edit videos in that time. I just sort of taught myself to be very efficient with it, and that's how I can get the videos out quite quick. So it is relentless. It takes a lot of energy, But it is worth it. I'm not looking here for a sob story. It's, it's what part of pot. And if I couldn't sustain it and I couldn't cope with it, then you just simply stop posting videos for a while. But you do get caught in that cycle. You're just churning out, you're churning, and but the rewards are ultimately worth it, like anything. So
no, for sure. And it's a cliche, isn't it? But it's true. If it was easy, everybody would do it, wouldn't they? And as you said, you hit the nail on the head there, Harrison, that people see the finished product and they're drawn in by it, and they're so impressed with it, and that's why you've got the following that you've got. But not many of us, me included, I'm learning an awful lot, and I think really, really, your openness and the fact it's so informative. This is, mate, and a lot of us can learn from that. That to get to the level and to get the momentum and still enjoy it. That's the key, isn't it? Because I think if you stopped enjoying it, and as you say, you're working hard, you've got a family. Yes, you enjoy it, but it is still very hard work. But I would imagine the content that we're talking about here as a group and as an incredible guest on this podcast, it is all about, ultimately, we do want to help people collectively, individually. I get a buzz from it. I say to people that I talk to all the time, whether it's one-to-one or if it's a group of a few hundred people, I tell them I'll go home feeling better about myself today, because the positivity bounces back. So it's nice. I'm assuming that even though it's not as personal for you because you're doing it through a social platform, once you look at some of the comments and once you see the following coming up, as busy as you are, and the fact that you remind yourself you've only had 3 or 4 hours, it must make you think, I've done some good again today. It must do.
Yeah, definitely. I think, like you say, for me, that it really hits home with like the real world engagement for me. Like you say, it is a bit too easy with it just to associate that success with my phone in my hand, and it's hard to put names to faces and the faces to comments. But when I think for me, it does hit home when I sort of will bump into someone and they feel that they, because it does take a bit of balls to go up to a stranger and then introduce yourself. And if it was me, I'm not sure that I would actually do that, even if I'd recognise them off socials. I honestly don't know if I would go up to them and introduce myself and say how much, say how thankful I was for what they do. I don't know that I would do that. So if anyone ever comes up to me, I get a lot of people message me and say, I seen you, but was that you in here? But I didn't really want to come up. And I always say to people, honestly, if you ever see me, please come over and say hello. Not because I want ego trip, but for me, it's great to meet people who sort of resonate with what we're doing, what the videos, and appreciate them. And it means as much to me as it would for them. Do you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, we're just bricklayers. It's nothing more. I'm still the same person that I was before I even knew what TikTok was. I go home and I've just got all the normal stresses. I go in the day, I've got the normal stresses. I work with normal people. The real world is not glamour, it's not glitz, it's just normality.
Yeah.
And then the socials have given it this area that is a bit different. But yeah, I love getting feedback, real world feedback from people, and bumping into people. And that's when I'm like, oh yeah, it is doing something good.
Yeah, it definitely is, mate. Listen, you've earned that, hasn't he, James? He's really earned it.
Massively, absolutely massively. I want to ask you, how do you deal with negative comments?
So honestly, in certain days, I think there'll be some days where I do allow myself to get drawn into it, and I know I shouldn't, but I will get caught up in a few. Just something about them just gets me, and I'm just like,
yeah.
Like I say, you're a normal person, you're not a robot, and some of the comments do something about them, they irritate me. Around 90% of them I can bypass, and I don't care. Thank you for the interaction. It's great for the algorithm, and see you later. But yeah, there's some that do irk me, and then I might have a little nibble back in a comment. I don't think I've ever gone back at anyone in a way that would look bad. I think I would guess just calling people out on some comments that are just, it's the comments that you just wouldn't say in real life. I just can't resist the urge just to call people out on them. And I think a lot of the times when you do that, they're shocked that you've replied to them, because I think that they feel like it's never going to be seen, or the creator's never going to see them. So I can say what I want, right? But the reality is like you say, you do go through your comments because it's part and parcel of what you've got to reply to comments. You got to get your audience engaged. So you do see, there'll be names that you recognize as well. There's a lot of names you get used to seeing, like the people who are repeatedly, I let a few comments go, but if they repeat, I always feel like I feel more sad for them, if that makes sense. Something is going on that is, they've come to me to out their frustration and their anger. And I do feel it's not like I just feel like you just need to be asked a question here. Like, why are you coming here to, like, what's going on? And I've had a few people that has ended up with a private message and they apologized. And they're like, I never thought that you would reply, or I'm a human being behind my phone. Like, do you know what I mean? Of course I see it, and of course I'm going to feel something about it. But on the same breath, if you're going to be successful at social media or do well at it, you do have to learn basically not to give a fuck about a lot of things. So yeah, definitely a balance. Some days I can get drawn in if I've had a bad day, like anyone. If I'm stressed, if I'm not feeling in a great mood, then yeah, I might get a bit more caught up in it. Most days I kind of just laugh to myself and then just scroll on. So it's one of them. I try not to, as soon as I put the phone down, that's it. That's the bench and bricky locked on my phone. And then I'd never let it come into the real world as Harrison. Do you know what I mean? So,
do you ever reply to the comments? Do a video off that comment? Do you ever do them?
No, I almost feel like if I was to do reply videos and stuff, it would be like it's giving them that comment the time that it doesn't deserve. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like to do my style, do whatever I want to do, regardless of what anyone thinks of it, and that's it. I'm not. I like, it's built around my brain. I think a lot of people see me as someone who's not that type of reactive person. Do you know what I mean? On socials, I think, like, he's pretty steady, and he talks about the same things consistently and produces the same videos consistently. So I don't try not to be reactive in most things in life.
Early in my career on social media, I would do the videos, but I would always, as you said, I would never say what I wanted to say, because what I really wanted to say was, who do you think you are? You won't speak to me in the street like that. And I always come across as, why are you speaking like that? Listen, what's going on for you? Inbox me. Let me see if I can help you. That's the way I come across. And, I've built a couple of friendships of people absolutely slating me. And I've done a video, and as you say, the inbox you privately, apologise, I've got stuff going on. And I say, well, that's what I'm here for, talk to me. All of a sudden, it's turned into a friendship where we've swapped numbers over a period of time, and I've helped them. And then his dad passed. So it's a long story, but back in the day, I would always respond, and sometimes I shouldn't have done. Now, because I'm that way into I just go like, delete block, because it does more to me than it does to them. And as you say, very easy to get caught up in it. And I got caught up in it where it's me that goes to bed and don't have a great night's sleep because it's on my mind, because that's the type of person I am. Because sometimes people just want a reaction.
Yeah.
And no reaction is a reaction.
Mm-hmm.
So I found, now I just go like, whatever. As you say, it's not real. It is, but it's not. If you can make it real by continuing it, block and delete, you've just severed it, done. I'm not taking on board. I'm not accepting your negativity. Not doing it.
Really good advice from both of you there for us all to learn from there, because as I said before, I don't do anything like either James or you do, although I definitely should learn more about that and not be such a dinosaur. But the point is, I would imagine that giving these people, these negative people, any airtime at all, even if it's just in comments, let alone speaking to them, giving them airtime and allowing that negativity to come in will surely just dilute all the amazing, wonderful stuff that you're doing. Whether you're trying to use it to send another message, a positive message, or to help somebody else who's up against what you're up against with that negativity, I don't feel it's worth it. Because it's just a rabbit warren, and it's a Pandora's box.
Yeah.
I agree with both of you, and you've obviously adopted that attitude now through experience to say, okay, that's fine and that's great, but I'm not playing that game. I'm going to stay just as relatable and as true that I was yesterday before I even heard from you.
Yeah.
You've got to be so confident in your why as to why you're doing it, why you're making the videos, what you are. And it's the same for anything in life. I think it's a very satisfying feeling when you get to the point that you're so, you're accepted of who you are as a person, and no one can deter from that, regardless of what they think. And I don't think I was always like that by any stretch. Certainly when I was younger, I was a lot more sensitive to what people might have thought about me and their opinions. And like you said, it comes with maturity, experience.
I think so, yeah.
And now I'm honestly at a point where I don't give a shit what anyone thinks about me, and it's not in an arrogant sort of way. It's just I'm doing what I do and I know it's a positive thing, and it's helping people. So, and I don't care if people don't like it. If there's a few people who don't like it, it's more of a reflection of them than me, for sure. And yeah, I would say I more often than not would want to know why they feel like that, and I wouldn't want to stoop down. I would say stoop down to their level, but I wouldn't want to go back in the same tone as someone would come at me. I mean, on the odd time I might bite a bit more, but yeah, generally it would be more like calling out let's not call it behavior, but calling out the tone of the comment, and why people are that angry, why they're that frustrated, and it's more sad that there's people that feel like that. I think social media can really bring out the worst in certain people.
Definitely.
Yeah, no, it really can. I mean, one question I know, again, the listeners have got for you, Harrison, is that for anybody out there that through their own challenges, through their own mental health struggles, maybe if they're only just sensing, as we all know, you don't have to go through trauma. You might just be sensing that your mental health is being compromised. And that can be different for all of us, Kai. It can be so, so different. But if there's somebody out there that thinks, I think the way for me to help myself and alleviate this and to actually start those crucial conversations is to start making some content and sharing it via social media. Is there any sort of simple tips that you could give them to get them started and to maybe give them the confidence to think, okay, yeah, I was right and I am going to give it a go?
The best advice I could give anyone in that situation is whatever idea pops in your head. There's no such thing as a bad idea. Get your phone out, record it, just get it out. Years ago, I wouldn't have done what all I'm doing now. No chance. I'd have been too concerned that I would have pictured certain people in my head of what they would say and thinking of the negativity, and that would have blocked me doing it. Well, now you can get to the point where you just stand on yourself, the reason why you're doing it, just get it out there. It doesn't matter if it flops, because the thing people tend to forget is they think that it's very easy to go viral. And it's for some people, yeah, they do get a bit of luck where they go viral, but it's like anything in life. You've got to consistently do it. Just do it. Try and aim to do one a day, something, and just do it. Follow up on what your thoughts are. Do it, because otherwise nothing will ever happen if you don't do it.
I just come out of that, Harrison. So I just had 10 months of imposter syndrome. Yeah. And it's exactly what you've just said there, brother. And my fault, and it was my fault because I was listening to too many people. Don't post that. Can't say that. You post too much. You're always on my FYP. I flip back at me because you're always on there. All of a sudden, that's got in my head. I then go into overthinking, which I do anyway, of what to post, when to post, why to post, what hook to do, what this. And that whole overthinking, I stopped posting. I just stopped posting. I do one a week. And it's only, and I'm so glad you've come on here. You've been absolutely incredible. It's only in the last 2 weeks that that advice you've just said, I started doing 2 weeks ago. Idea pops in, stop what I'm doing, record it. Takes, we could probably do a video, couldn't we, in about, posted and done, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, depending. Some take hours. But I'll go, done, post. And I've not got it in my head now to do one a day. Some days I'll do one. Other days I'll do 3 or 4. And if people, and I can see some of my followers on LinkedIn going, not ours. Not ours. Go if you want to go. This is me. This is mine. And I'm doing this for me. because primarily we're helping thousands of people. You're helping over 400,000, which is incredible. But we're helping people, but it's also helping us. We love doing it, because if we didn't love doing it, Harrison, we wouldn't do it.
No.
Well said.
Just what you just said there, just be authentic to yourself, who you are. It's not just about socials. People's thoughts hold them back from a lot of things in life. People, they're guessing what certain people might think about them doing something or starting that business or whatever it might be. It's not just about socials, and people's their own perception of what people think about them sort of block a lot of things they want to do in life.
Massively.
Like you say, that 2 years ago, that was 100% me. I would have let my perception of what people thought of me doing things block me doing things 100%. But like you say, through age, bit of experience and maturity, I'm kind of at the point now where I'm not afraid to give anything a go, because I don't care about what other people think of me doing that. I'm doing it for myself. I'm doing it for the people I love and care about. And as long as that's sort of your sort of fuel behind why you're doing it, even if it doesn't succeed, it doesn't matter. It's better. It's better to have a crack at something and tried it and it not work than sit on that idea forever. Because who knows?
Yeah, definitely.
I could have sat on this concept and it never materialized. And then even for me, I'm still learning now. I'm still not getting things right. And then I'm learning from it. It's still learning. It's all learning. Every day is learning. Learning in my bricklaying business every day. There's always something to learn. We're always evolving. So, yeah, it's once you just get that notion out of your head about what people might think of you, and you just think, this is why I want to do it. This is my opinion. This is me. And you're just not afraid to hit that post button. It can just it literally can change. It can change everything, and that is the.
Oh yeah, of course it can.
I'm so glad that we've had the opportunity to have you on, Harrison. Selfishly, it's because I've learned a lot, but also I think the listeners are going to really, really enjoy this, because, dare I say this, but real recognizes real. I'm a big believer in that, and James, I'm going to pass it over to you to close the show, but I am going to shut up now, Harrison. But I just want to say, mate, it's been a great privilege to meet you. Well done, and I wish you nothing but the best as you're moving forward, mate.
Oh, thank you. No, I really appreciate it. And equally for me, I still love the opportunities to come and speak to, like you say, real people about real things, and that's the world we're in. So yeah, it's still a great experience for me as well. I love doing it. So yeah, thank you for having me, mate.
Amazing. Clive, thank you for hosting. Always a pleasure, my brother. Harrison, just to reiterate what Clive said, absolutely incredible, helping hundreds of thousands of people and giving us tonight, not only our listeners, but us as well, selfishly, great advice moving forward. So that concludes another Built for Us podcast, which was incredible. Love that word. By construction workers, for construction workers. Have a great day. Thanks for viewing this episode. We really appreciate your support. Remember, follow us, subscribe, share with a mate, join us live. Built for Us. Let's build something stronger together.